Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Dominions 4, The Thrones of Ascension. And we are Ulm, and we are forging ahead. And I hope you enjoyed the skit that started off the previous episode. I worked very hard on it. It took numerous hours to put together. And actually, this is the point in the series where I ask you for a favor, because I put a lot of effort into these episodes, especially the skit ones. And I know there are people out there that would really enjoy them, but just don't even know they exist to look. And they might think this is just another typical Dominions series that doesn't do any of these kooky little things that I add to it. So if you could do me a favor and maybe spread the word in social media or in forums that are related to strategy gaming or Dominions about this series, with special highlights to the skits and other unusual things that I do and the team-ups with other LPers, I'd really appreciate it. And I figure if you made it all the way to this episode, you probably like the series, so please help me if you can. Thank you so much. All right, so look at what's going on here. Here is Alsvin, and he's in Kopos, and I was thinking of perhaps sending Ion against him, but I've decided against it because I want the Province Defense to help out. All Ion has is Guardians. So while they are good troops, they are certainly not Alsvin killing material. We need more like specific items and magic, and Ion is not exactly a thug chassis. So that's that. But let's read the messages. So the Chief Smith has cast Mechanical Militia. Now we are in early summer of the year 5 of the Ascension Wars. Ethna in Wold found the Well of White Water. In Scantrast, children are disappearing at night, and strange creatures skulk the wilderness. And this is exactly why we are trying to eliminate magic from the world, to keep horrible events like this, horrible random happenstances like this from happening. Magic has increased, of course. It will not be easy to get rid of magic. It will fight back. In the Searing Sands, however, an ancient treasure has been unearthed, netting us 57 gold. And unfortunately, Destry Sol, the commander of Ulm, who for some reason is showing a Black Ulm shield here, has died from a disease, which is tragic. And the entrance to the fortification in Black Ulm has been breached. So, we now have a mechanical militia. What does that mean, Marcus? Well, let me show you in Wherein here. If you go to the Province Defense, which I've raised a lot. Why'd I waste the money on that? Well, because Wherein is a hotbed of unrest, and I can't just devote a whole army to patrol it forever. So I'm hoping that getting the unrest reduction to 5 a month will slow down the growth of unrest in this province. But here's our mechanical militia. They show up at the bottom of the Province Defense, and I guess he's like the mechanical man commander, though he's just a regular mechanical man. Although, hot damn, he's a commander. Look at that. That's pretty cool, because you can't actually summon mechanical men commanders. That's kind of neat. But it depends on the size of your province defense. So a place where I have very little province defense, like at Shepherd's Haven, there are very little mechanical men. There we go. And in places where I have tons and tons, like Wherein, there are tons and tons of mechanical men. But they will now aid us. They are magical creatures. They will not rout. They are pretty awesome, and they will help defend from the horrors that we are fighting against. We are storming the castle of Black Ulm. Just to give you a quick notion of my strategy here, I guess we could kind of pull this up. There we go. So all of our commanders are really far in the back here, because I do not want them to get sniped by the turrets from the walls, and I'm thinking the turrets can't make it back this far. The problem is, they're also probably too far away to do much damage, which is fine though, I think, because I'm going to let my troops take this one. I don't want to create a magma eruption mess in the main entryway tunnel, which is going to kill more of my men than the enemy. I've also taken the Guardians from a number of our leaders and put them in the front to storm the gate first thing, while the rest of the infantry waits, and we'll attack later. We have a couple guys standing up a little bit closer. I have reasons for that. Maybe they're on their way to death or something, or I feel like they're going to last a bit longer due to some items they have or whatnot. me try to find one of them so I can... Is Irati one of them? No, he's down there. I spent a lot of time setting this up, so I'm sure there's some reason, though I can't seem to find anybody now. That is there. Ewok Impy? No, you're in the back. So who's this guy? It's like a priest smith. Ah, here we go. So, John Weinert. Why is he that close in the front? Because, I don't know. That's a good point. I don't necessarily know if he should be. He's Legion of Stealing, which is important, but he's also Magma Erupting, which is not. It was suggested that I do Earth Elementals, but unfortunately I do not have any Earth Gems with which to do that, so okay. The odds of John getting hit by the first volley are pretty low, I'd say, but he does have some Guardians to draw fire. I think we're good enough. I mean, I'm not going to spend 6 hours setting this up, but I'm just trying not to lose anybody carelessly. We're here in Gold Mountains. Praetorian Panda is building a lab. Erectus is building a temple. Once that's done, we'll give Praetorian Panda the lightning-resistant bracelet, and then he will attack the Stormhawks and take revenge for the horrible tragedy that befell us. Let me introduce you to some new players in the game. In Ulm, we have Sven Penguin and Von Apophis, the Black Priest and Priest Smith, respectively. We have Bam Bam in Oiperi, who is a 2-fire, so that's pretty good. In Umbro, we have Ribby, the Black Lord. I think that's the only one. I'm recruiting a lot of Black Lords now because I'm going to start training them to be thugs and start making equipment for them. Though I have to say my Earth Gem income is horrifically bad. Even with the Earth Gem spell, we're not able to construct the items we need and maintain an Earth Gem balance. But there's Ribby there. He's the only one. Here we have Conan the Cimmerian and Elithiomel. In Og Woods, we have Redrick Stormborn, another Black Lord. In Iron Range, we have Amalarion. And I believe that's everyone. So those are all of our new friends that have joined us in this adventure. And we have the Chief Smith is forging the Moonvine Bracelet. It's actually costing him a lot of gems because I had to take his Dwarven Hammer away to give him the Thistle Mace in order to be able to forge it. The Moonvine Bracelet gives you +1 nature, I believe. It's a nature and astral crosspath spell, and none of my other nature mages that are better at nature, like my sorceresses, have astral. So it's Chief or nobody. So I'll probably end up giving that to Lobo or Soups. Soups would be useful, but the thing is, you can't have a Thistle Mace and a Dwarven Hammer. So whoever's forging items, you know, I probably need 2 of them, but they are pretty expensive too, and again, Chief Smith's the only one who can cast them. Soups is forging another Water Cloak. We're getting as many of those as possible, at least for all of our sorceresses. Lobo's just hanging out right now. The rest are searching. Like, for example, down here in Sulfury, we have Kuna and F. Boley. We have Daggro, who's moving down to Runia. I forged something interesting, or I'm going to forge something interesting. Let's see, do I have it yet? No, not yet. Okay, so I'm forging something called the Eye of Innocence, which is a miscellaneous item which gives you +20 to stealth. So I'm thinking of giving that to Anko. So that'll give him another +20 to stealth, which I think would be kind of neat. So actually, let's move Anko to some place that has a... Well, we can't in one turn, but we'll get him either to Western Plains or Og Woods. Looks like they've moved their large army away. They've kind of distributed them amongst these 2 castles. So, okay. I already read the messages. There was no battles. Everything's all set up. I think we can end the turn. As far as research is concerned, we're just going all alteration all the time. That's giving us Destruction, Curse of Stones, which are both really good. Maws of the Earth, Lightning Resistance, which we could have really used, actually, in the last episode. Iron Warriors, which is fantastic. And Shatter, which works against magical constructs. I'm not sure we're going to be seeing many of those. We also have Ironbane. And then Petrify, which would be a great spell against Alsvin, except, as you know, we have very few mages capable of 5 earth. And crumble actually causes enemy walls to, believe it or not, crumble. Level 7 is really great because it gives us marble warriors, which does require a gem or a bloodstone, but it pretty much makes everyone stone skin. 25 area, so that's 3 people per 25, so you could potentially stone skin up to 75 people. And then Iron Walls strengthens the walls of your own castle. Now Wizard's Tower creates a castle out of nothing. It's a pretty crappy castle, but it does the job if you just need a lab and a temple. Ground Army makes everyone in your entire army resistant to lightning and thunder. Costs 2 earth gems. And it basically zonkers your mage out for the rest of the battle, but that would have been quite useful in the battle for the throne. And then finally, Army of Gold and Army of Lead. Army of Lead is not as useful for us because it's more of a multiplayer spell. It makes you difficult to hit with magic, but the enemy doesn't really use much in the way of good magic. Army of Gold provides you physical and fire protection. So they're all very useful end game kind of spells. Alright, let's see what happens, folks. We have the storming of Black Ulm. It's going to be wild and woolly. We'll probably lose some people, and I'll probably not know who they are because there's just so many commanders there that it'd be almost impossible for me to track. I wish the game would just flat out tell you, you lost 5 smiths, and here are their names. I don't see why that's that hard, but I guess the way this game was envisioned to be played, you weren't supposed to care about your commanders. You're not supposed to name them and care about them. They're supposed to be expendable. But no one's expendable in my army. Alright, no magic sites. Battle at the Fortress of Black Ulm. Alright, let's take a quick look at what we got here. So, we're not as far back as I had thought, but here's our line of guys. They're virtually undefended, because all their guardians are up here in the front. But they've got nothing here. They've got absolutely nothing. So I think this is going to be our day. Let's just hope none of these stray arrows reaches our... Oof, a couple of them. A couple of them are getting close. Their people are all raising dead and Legion of Stealing themselves and doing all kinds of crazy shenanigans. Let's, There we go. That's what I wanted. So that will allow us to tell the difference. Well, actually it won't because we have the same damn color. But... Alright, all of our guys are summoning their Earth Power, which is actually not that useful. Because I just want them to be safe, which means they all have to cast Iron Skin. Platinum Black did it. Franz von Bieskau tempered his flesh, which is also good. Once you have this many commanders and they're all together, it's just such a hassle to change their scripting. You just want to shoot yourself in the head. Oh, first volley. Didn't do a ton of good. Oh, someone just got hit. Blank. Blank took it pretty hard. Didn't get an injury out of it, though. So see, even far back, these walls are deadly. And they're going to skelly spam the gate, which is actually a genius move. And now we're being Bane fired, which means now we all have Decay and Wither, so our Guardians aren't going to last the battle, win or lose. Holy crap. Okay, now we're Iron Skinning and Stone Skinning and hard material skinning. Let's fast forward this a little bit. I mean, you'd think all of our Arbalests would do some hideous damage. Especially because the wall... Oh, we made it. We were in the gate. We've crossed the threshold. They did something to these poor guys. Frightened, maybe? I don't know. Now they're using good spells. Earth Meld at the gate. That's actually the perfect use of that spell. Good job, AI. Okay, we are... So somebody's Blade Wind's making it, well, barely. Okay, that did sort of good. Yeah, because they are Black Ulm troops. I wonder if the walls decrease accuracy? I'm not entirely sure. But we're now stretching our legs, trying to get out from this gateway, where we're all on fire. Seen better days, I'd suppose. Yeah, are these guys running? What are they doing here? No? I don't know why they're facing backwards. Maybe somebody got around? I don't know. They've got their fire elementals. They're definitely... I mean, I have to say, Black Ulm has been pretty decent at using magic, and we're hurting our guys, I think, more than the enemy here. We need to move away from this gate. Sloosh Towington. Wow, he's got range. Colonial. Viriato was able to actually magma erupt all the way into here. Good for him. Overlord's Iron Darts. Now bear in mind that we don't have to actually win the battle. We just have to convince the remaining living troops to flee. And that will kind of automatically win the battle for us. So if we can focus on their commanders and not the undead, that will be to our advantage. Wayland casted Iron Warriors, as did Damaris. We seem to be focusing on the undead, but I don't think that's their fault. I think that's really the only people that are close enough for them to do anything to. The fire elementals just got hit hard. Nice. I don't know if it was the Guardian of the Dead or one of the spells. That spell took him down. Nice. We may have lost some people. I can't honestly even tell. They don't make like a different noise when a commander gets killed. But our troops are probably like, alright, enough with the magma eruptions, guys. You know what would be good? I know the helmet gives us morale, but there's also a nature item. It's like a horn that gives your troops increased morale as well for the troops under the command of the commander who's wearing it. I might want to forge me some of those too. There's also the opposite horn. I think it's also nature that causes panic among the enemies. And we're in now. There's very few undead, although our entire army is going to die, of course, due to decaying flesh. They hurt us hard. It's going to take us a while to recover from this. Especially our pikemen. I think all of our guardians are gone, except for just a handful. There was like 45 guardians. And we just magma erupted our own people. Good job. Schwartz right to Kamos. The armies of Black Ulm are mostly routed, it says. So let's maybe not cast horrible... Oh, did you see that volley? Arbalest for the win. I think there was Skeeter. Skeeter was in this army. So maybe he was one of the ones that took down one of those commanders. Good old Skeeter. Skeeter Dingleberry from Omicria. And now they've just got this poor guy and done. Alright, so we did not lose any commanders. My tactics in this battle were amazing and wonderful and completely unassailable. Everyone survived to a man. They were far enough behind or they were spelled up correctly. Even Blank managed to recover. We did, however, lose 33 guardians, 21 infantry, 27 pikeneers, 15 crossbowmen, and 2 of our brave merman auxiliaries. That's a shame, but we did destroy all of these jerks here. In Gamer, unexpected event. Lately, dogs have gone rabid and fled. A pack has now reappeared, mixed with more sinister creatures. Duvan, the extensive bureaucracy of the local government is costly, decreasing tax gains. That stinks. Alright, Gamer. Let's look at these packs of wild, bestial beasts. We have some black dogs and some dogs. But our mechanical militia is more than enough, I think, to send them packing. Even if our regular militia is not. Looks like they're fine. We didn't even need the mechanical militia. Such is the fate of all who stands in the way of the greatness of Ulm. Alright, so Black Ulm now belongs to us. It looks like Alsvin has retreated back into the sea, which means we're going to head up to Kopos. And they have a single Mound King, who we will singly destroy with Ion. And there we are. So now we can see pretty much everything except for Deep Sea, which I would presume belongs to Black Ulm, but it might not. So they have Small Sea, the Infinite Sea, the Dark Blue Sea. I presume Alsvin is hanging out in the Lake of God because he believes that he is a god, and so what better place for him to stay? The depth has been left unguarded? Why would you do that, R'lyeh? Embracer is just being completely buffed up. We're going to have to wait till the winter, or at least the fall, to attack Capes and take this island over. It does have 3 provinces. Alright. So Rin is in Omur. Really interesting. We're going to have her search. And we're going to have Dagger'll search. And Black Ulm, first thing we're going to do is we're going to bump up the province defense to a respectable 30. And, wow, we survived, but everybody's kind of a mess. Colonial has Battle Fright. Damaris has a Never Healing Wound. Demonicus, I think we already knew this, he has Never Healing Wound. Havel the Rock just has the Eye. Platinum Black is on his way out, I think. Yeah, Diseased and Mute. Platinum Black can no longer even cast any spells. Well, basic spells. Franz von Bieskau is weakened. That's not that big a deal for a mage. Jean-Luc Picard, weakened as well. But I think overall we did pretty well. So between episodes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange the troops with a smaller number of commanders, send them out to the battle, while the rest of the commanders will recoup and research in Black Ulm itself. So Praetorian Panda, we're going to switch out. We want the Reinvig, so we're going to switch out your Dancing Shield with... Where are you? Ah, the Ring of Tamed Lightning, which gives total protection from lightning it claims, but really only 15 shock resistance, which is not total protection. But hopefully good enough. And Praetorian Panda will take the walk into impassable mountains and try to get revenge for our brothers who died there. They'll move up to here. We do have a temple now, which may, interestingly enough, cause us to go to war with Xibalba if our Dominion busts into theirs, but it's going to be a while before that happens. Nidaros is here to guard. All you guys are going to patrol. Stamps is definitely patrolling. Erectus will patrol. And Batman is going to head out. Actually, he'll go to the capital because he can flee, I presume. Yep, retreat. We're going to bring Anko to the Western Plains. Why? Because I mentioned before, we are going to give him... Oh, I did not? Oh, that's right, I didn't forge the Eye of Innocence because I didn't have enough Astral Pearls. That's right. Yeah, see, my Astral Pearl income is pretty shitey. Well, soon I'll get him the Eye of Innocence anyway. Ethna, I guess, is just going to hang out. Maybe she'll go to Ulm and start forging because we've searched everything around here for... Well, not Ossuary, but most everything for 2 nature and 2 water. So I guess you can go to Ossuary. No harm in that. I don't know if I told you guys, but Marcus Aemilius Lepidus is really dolled up. He's got the Astral Pendant, the shield, flying boots, the helmet, and the bow of war. The flying boots he's hopefully not going to use in battle, but basically it's just to let him move at the same speed as all of his Griffin Riders. 2 of them are guarding him personally, and the rest are set to hold and attack rear with +3 morale. Why is that important? Because flying units have morale checks to see how far they go. So if you tell them to attack rear, but there's, let's say, 3 groups of enemies arrayed against you, each time they fly over one of the groups, they have a morale check to see if they continue flying or if they land and attack. So the higher the morale, the more likely it is that they will actually make it all the way to the back and do the attack that you want. And then Caractacus is going to falling fire everyone because he is a really good fire mage. And I did give Caractacus the Crystal Shield, which means technically on the battlefield he is 3 fire, 4 earth. So we could, if we wanted to, also have him cast like Weapons of Sharpness, Petrify, which is why I'm making so many of these Crystal Shields, even though they are incredibly expensive. Let me show you. They take 15 astral and 10 earth. So even with the hammer, the Dwarven hammer, and even with a smith casting, that's still 13 astral pearls and 8 earth, which is incredibly tough. So, yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, Next episode, we will witness Praetorian Panda take on the Springhawks in Impassable Mountains. We will witness Ion secure Kopos and probably get attacked at some point by Alsvin. I don't know if I want to sacrifice Ion to that. I don't know. We have some guys I could send in reserve, maybe with the right items. Maybe we can send one of our Black Lords up there with one of our injury items and just sacrifice them. I hate to sacrifice my named commanders, though. And eventually we're going to move to the east, too, against Pelagia. They can't really hurt us. Their troops that can go on land are pretty weak. I'm not afraid of them. So we can secure that throne, we can secure this throne, and then I guess we're against R'lyeh. Hopefully we can keep the peace with Xibalba. I mean, it's quicker to go through Xibalba, but if I only have to declare war on one enemy instead of two, I'd rather just declare it on one. But we're a long ways from that because we need to get troops up here. These guys are basically just good enough to hold, especially here where we're pretty weak. We have no troops and just mages bolstering province defense, and Palame is actually at Illithid Lord, Illithid soldiers, and they all can Mind Blast, so things get a little crazy. Maybe with I don't know, does a golem have a mind? We can make more golems. In fact, I think you are mindless, aren't you? You are, so you cannot be Mind Blasted, so maybe we can just send a super combatant their way. That's possible. But regardless, I'd like to thank you very much for watching this presentation of Ulm Forging Ahead. Of course, we will continue to forge ahead. I am Marcus Aurelius. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.